Ask yourself this question. If it was 20 years from today and your life was as good as it could possibly be, what would you want it to look like? With so much happening in the world all the time, too many people get caught up in the day-to-day minutia, the problem of the moment, the pain of the moment, the issue of the moment, and you know what it does? It derails them. I get asked this question a lot, like, how do you deal with it? And the answer really for me is twofold. First, I've got a bigger vision for my life to live into. Would it shock you to hear that over the last several decades, I've been writing out 5-year visions, then 10-year visions, and most recently, 20-year visions for my life, where I actually think about, like, if my life was as good as it could possibly be, with my wife and I, with my children, eventually their wives and families, right? With business, with influence, with impact, with contribution, and I literally have written out exactly in as much detail as I can everything that I want to shoot for. Think of it as almost like a life's mission or a North Star. And I'll tell you, the more I read that, and then things happen in the world, it doesn't mean that my heart doesn't go out to people. It doesn't mean that I don't have that moment where I just go, oh, why is this happening again? But because I've got this bigger future to live into, they feel like smaller bumps in the road, right? When you look at your life in a 20-year perspective, you know that there's gonna be good markets and bad markets. You know there's gonna be ups and downs. You know there's tragically going to be people that pass away that you love and care for. But when you have a 20-year vision, everything just feels a little smoother. So my advice for you is, ask yourself this question. If it was 20 years from today and your life was as good as it could possibly be, what would you want it to look like? Who would you be with? Where would you live? Maybe in multiple places. What about the family members and your loved ones? And what's going on with your career and your health and vitality and your wealth? What have you done? And when you start listing it all out, you're gonna realize in the beginning, a lot of what you were thinking, you're playing too small. And I want to remind you, we have this tendency in life to totally overestimate what we can accomplish in 6 months or a year, and we dramatically underestimate how much could be accomplished in a decade. But how about 2? I challenge you to do that. Here's the second thing, and it's old school. Imagine something's happening, right? I make the mistake of turning on the television, heaven forbid, or I walk by it and something's going on, or someone shares with me something that's happening in the world. I'll find myself where it's very easy, as we all know, to get wrapped up in the moment. And the thing that I do is I say, stop. I literally will say, stop. I have laid in bed at night at 1:30 or 2 in the morning with my mind racing and thinking about something, and all of a sudden I get caught on some negative loop, some idea that really doesn't inspire me, that maybe hurts me, and literally laying there in bed, I'll go, stop! Stop, and I say it out loud, which is always really fun for my lovely wife sitting next to me. Probably better if I'm in a hotel room by myself, but the reality is interrupting the pattern. Acknowledging this isn't serving me, stop! And then guess what? Create a new thought, right? Go into a new direction, write it down. What are you committed to? What do you want to do? So it's really those 2 things. The easy one is the second one. The one I challenge you on is to create a 20-year vision, just like this guy behind the camera. When I said to him, if your life was as good as it could be, Tristan, what would you go for? And guess what? His life is already unfolding exactly the way he described it. I wonder, as he's editing this, if he's thinking, did he think big enough? How about you?